It is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce to you Patrick Morgan, who is the principal clarinetist of the President's Own Marine Band. He's going to be working with several of students today. We're going to start with Mandi. And Mandi, can you tell us what you're going to be playing today?
Today, I'm going to be playing the Solo de Concours by Messager.
Great. So, all right, I'll let you get started. We'll take 30 minutes for each participant, and I'll let you know when we have 5 minutes remaining.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. Manny, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're studying, what year you are, that kind of thing?
Yes. So, right now, I am at West Virginia University, a junior music education major studying with John Wiegand. Um, that's basically everything I have to say about that.
Not far. You're one state away. I'm Virginia. All right. Well, let's hear it.
Alrighty.
Okay. Really great work. Really great work. Let me go ahead and share my screen so that I can show everybody the music. But yeah, what a great performance. Thank you.
Thanks.
So, and now let me change. Oh boy. There we go. Can I make this bigger while I? Okay. All right. So, yeah, it was really musically sensitive. All your phrasing decisions were spot on. I don't disagree with very much, which doesn't really matter. But you have a good idea of sort of how this goes. I want to go back to the beginning.
Okay.
And talk about a couple of things. So in general, I feel like you're really good at showing musical direction. You're really good at pushing the phrase. And then, but on either side of that, I feel like there's two issues. One is occasionally you push too much and then don't allow the momentum. So phrases for me are more like pushing a gas pedal. You accelerate the car and you don't brake. You just let off the gas and let the car coast for the remainder of the phrase. So that was what happened on one side. On the other side, you would push the phrase great and then either clip the last note or not quite finish it out. And that's where I'd like to start at the beginning. So let's have you start again, and I want you to really concentrate on finishing every phrase. Let's just play down to like the first 5 lines, please.
Okay.
Okay, great. So I think this is definitely the time where you're not even dropping the ends of the phrase. You're just clipping the last note. So let's zoom in and just take one at a time. So the thing you have to remember is if you're playing with with a reasonable accompanist, they're going to be looking for you at the end of every phrase. Okay, so there is always time to breathe. I feel like a lot of these clips of the end of the phrases are because you're worried about coming in, which is difficult in this music. Like we don't have a lot of time, but you have to take the time that you can take. So I don't want you to feel like it sounds uncomfortable when someone is clipping the phrase to get to the next one. So let's try it one more time. Let's just play the first line and a half, the first couple of phrases. And I want you to really just like the C and the fourth bar, just take a microsecond, and it won't sound to us like you're taking time. It'll just feel like you're comfortable. So let's try those first 2 phrases.
Okay.
Okay, so that was a little bit too much, but you took too much time in the rest. The note was fine. So what I'm looking for is, by the way, if there's any teachers or students in here, the hardest thing to do is to sit there. The hardest thing to do on the clarinet is to sit in a masterclass and yap for a while and then try to play something. So for me, forgive me, and for the other 2 students who are waiting, it's a very difficult thing to do. Okay, so what I'm hearing is. Okay, and then this time I heard, which was great. There is still, you can take less time. So what I want to hear is, okay, actually, can you make it those 8 bars? Let's try it without a breath.
All right, I'll try.
Wonderful. And then here, there's a little bit of relaxing. Dee da dum bum 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 bee da 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 da. So you have plenty of time there. Okay, great. Last thing I'll say about this section, because especially since it happens later, the da dee da da da. I need you to pretend like you're just playing a G the whole time, because what I hear is da ba ba da dum ba ba. The A and then later the C kind of pop out a little bit. That's kind of how it's written, but let's try to pretend with your embouchure like you're playing a G the whole time. It's like, in general, this is for everyone. When we're playing a trill, we always pretend like we're playing the bottom note, because if your embouchure and your oral cavity is made for the top note, then it's going to sound like like the top note is just going to come out a lot. So let's try just the same two phrases and just really try to pretend like you're playing a G and take care of the A a little bit.
Okay.
That was wonderful. So now suddenly, instead of sounding, I don't want to say, you didn't sound frantic, but instead of sounding like you're kind of right on the edge, now it sounds elegant and clear and just great. It sounds like maybe you are relaxed now, but it sounds very relaxed. Okay, so let's move on to where this becomes a little bit more difficult in terms of the breathing. So now that you know what I was talking about, let's start second half of the page. And I really want you to concentrate on those last 8 notes, allowing them to have a little bit of space or a little bit of tone to them. You were kind of clipping them before, which goes along with dropping the ends of phrases. So let's start right on that C.
Okay.
That was fabulous. Okay, so yeah, you're a great student. That's awesome. All of the rest of this was fabulous. I loved how the tone, the color of your high C trill was much different from your low C trill. High C trills are kind of weird on some clarinets. I noticed that your D doesn't feel great. I think you can work on this on your own. I don't want you to play a trill for everybody a high C trill for everybody for 5 minutes, but there's a place inside your mouth where you can make the right shape to have that come out. Let me see if I can. Okay, well mine works. I'm trying to make it stuffy, but some clarinets it's not great. So there's a way to work on that, and I think it would be worth it for you. But the way you came back for the diminuendo and played a much different color on the C, I really appreciate it. Okay, slow section, which is everyone's favorite, I think. So this is now the other side of what I was talking about with your phrase direction. You were do you play video games?
Some.
Okay. You know how sometimes if you're playing a platformer, the character has momentum? This is the same thing as sort of the gas pedal analogy. So you're making your character run, and if you just stop pushing the button, they'll run a little bit further, right? Yeah. Whereas there's some games where as soon as you stop the button, they just stop. Okay? We are playing a game with momentum. We are not playing a game where as soon as you stop pushing, the phrase dies. Okay? So think about that. Da, 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 dee, da, da. I felt like you were pushing the phrase all the way to the last note.
Okay.
We can let go of the gas pedal and coast. So let's hear these first couple of phrases, and I want you to coast as much as you push. Very good. So one more thing. We always like to, in this, we always like, the goal is to start the next phrase around the same volume as you ended this phrase, okay? So you ended quite soft, and it was really beautiful. But the phrase you started at the beginning, you started it like mezzo piano. So your phrase was kind of shaped like this, instead of like this, okay? Can you either diminuendo less at the very end of your phrase, or what I would prefer is to start softer and end around the same place so that when you play the second phrase, it doesn't sound like you've jumped a dynamic level.
Mm-hmm.
Go on, that's really beautiful. She froze. Mandi, if you can hear me, can you try to reconnect? Well, for everyone else, I hope you can hear a difference between like that to me was a massive difference between when she was pushing and then when she just kind of let the end of the phrase happen. When we see espressivo, sometimes we tend to really want to push the music and make too much of a phrase, but you know, often there's two ways. I'm just going to try to yap until she comes back. Often there's two ways to play a phrase. There's sort of an aggressive version that works, and there's a more passive version that works. And all espressivo is not the kind of the more aggressive version. It's I'd like to challenge all of us, and myself in particular. I tend to choose that more aggressive route a little more often than I'd like. And sometimes if I hear another player, choose the alternate version, it can kind of like, oh, it really affect me. So I think before she was choosing the more aggressive approach to the phrase, and now that she's let off the gas pedal, it's totally changed the aura of this, of the feeling of this this music. So welcome back, Mandi.
Hello, there's storm, so my Wi-Fi got messed up with the storm coming through.
Storm?
Yeah,
Oh my
so
God. I can hear you now. It's fine. We'll keep moving. You're doing great. So the last thing that I said was I just complimented you for a few minutes while you were gone. But let's take that pickup. So go on a little bit, and I want to hear the same sort of thing as we crescendo. Now our phrases are going to be, instead of shaped like this, right? They're going to be shaped like this each time. Okay. So don't drop the end of the phrase so much below the beginning of the next one.
okay.
That is so much different. That is so very lovely. One last thing about this, I just love. Maybe this is a personal problem, but I love that A flat when we come back. We have this da dee da 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 dee. So we have a cadence on 5 with a B flat chord in E flat major, right? And we have this 5 of 5, this F major chord 2 beats before, right? Second line, second bar, third beat, A natural.
Yeah.
And then very quickly we come back da da dee da da, and it's such a great note for that sort of on the clarinet. I think I like to try to lean into it. The color of the A flat on the clarinet is it's a really interesting note, and if you just let the clarinet do what it normally does on an A flat, I think it really takes care of it. So. Okay, something like that. I was being a little bit dramatic, but I think that's nice. Can you try that one time just from the beginning of the line? See if you like it. If you don't, forget about it.
Wait, where did you want me to start?
Start at the beginning, second line on the E flat.
Oh, okay.
tiny little last thing. There's an there. I guess it's not. There's an appoggiatura on that last line of that bar, so that's where the phrase needs to go to. I think it's an F minor chord, and you have a G at the beginning of the bar. All right, you kind of. Okay, so don't pass that G without giving it a little bit of love. Okay, now on to the little burbles here. We've got 5 more minutes, I can see. I loved what you did sort of in between each one, but I'd like to try to connect these. Remember that you know what the piano's doing here? It's a simple question.
I think it has the melody.
Yeah, it has the same melody that you just played. So I'm sorry to put you on the spot. But yeah.
It's okay. I knew it. I just had to think about it.
No, it's fine. But you need to be thinking about it while you're playing. You know, every teacher says we need to play with 20% of our brains and listen with the other 80%. You need to do that even if you're not playing with someone. So I'm not lecturing you. I'm just stating in general for the class. So when you start the section, try to sing that melody in your head and phrase with it. So rather than hearing I want to hear because that's what you did with your rubato at the beginning. And a cheap trick for all of you guys listening to do this sort of thing. I do this all the time. Record the solo at the beginning, and then with this whatever rubato you would normally do with a piano, and then play this section along with it. You can do that for orchestra excerpts. With I do this a lot with Brahms. So that solo is when the flute comes in, they're playing that and you're playing the other one. So it's basically like you and the flute switch parts. So you can record the whole solo, the whole flute part, and then play the clarinet part over it, and you can kind of feel how it interacts, and it'll change how you do it. Anyway, this is a good exercise to do. But for now, listen in your head and try to phrase these burbles how you would the melody.
Okay.
So that you're supporting the piano's melody.
You want me to do the whole thing or just do it in chunks?
Well, just play most of it.
Okay.
Okay, that's completely different. That's completely different to me. It's the best thing when you make a comment and the student absolutely immediately does it. That was wonderful. I think now you'll be able to feel that if we ever get to play with pianists again. I think that'll make a huge difference. Okay, we have 3 minutes. I want to mention the end. We're going to come back to the cadenza. I want to mention the end. It was so good. It was so good. You've got great fingers. I just wonder if you can have a little bit more crispness in the staccato to add just that last layer of energy. Okay. So experiment with that by yourself. I don't want you don't need to play it again, but if you record yourself, actually this is being recorded, so you can tell later. Yeah, just a little bit da-da-tia, da-da-tia, da-da-tia. Every time we have a slur 2, tongue 2, the 2 slurred ones are going to sound louder than the other 2 because we're playing, they're longer, right? Mm-hmm. So da-da-tia, da-da-tia, da-da-tia. If you accent those 2 a little bit in addition to making them sound a little crisper, that will help kind of move it along. And it won't sound like da-da-tia, 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 da-da-tia. It's not going to sound like that, but if that's a way you can kind of propel it and add a little bit more energy. And the last thing, I would love it if you, on these sixlets that everybody practices too much, it'll sound more virtuosic actually if you don't play them exactly in tempo. Okay, it was really impressive that you could, and by the end, of course, we have to be playing quite fast, but like. Okay, like that. I think that really, because the piano is not playing there, so we can do whatever we want. Now, I'm not doing that because it makes it easier. These always have to be. You can never let your technical inadequacies drive your musical decisions. So that's not because it's easier. It's because it's a mini cadenza. A violinist would absolutely do that. A pianist would absolutely do that. So we should too. Okay, 1 minute on the cadenza. It sounded, there were just a couple of small things. First of all, in this first run up, you didn't rallentando. And in the second one, you did a big rallentando. Mm-hmm. I worry that that is technically driven. And lucky for you, there's a rallentando written, so you should probably do it. Okay, so I would pace the first one how you pace the second one. I think the second one was more correct as in terms of what's written. In the second section at the forte on the low D, make sure you're not making these. So he both spells it with an eighth note tied to a 32nd, and he has a tenuto on the second one and the third one, right? So I would stay away from those notes. All sounded rhythmically the same to me, and the whole thing here is we're keeping the same bottom note and changing the top notes, or it becomes the opposite. Sorry, but rather than okay. And the last thing I'll say to you is, and I'm sorry that we don't have time for me to hear this, but when you were making the changes a little bit too obvious by taking a break between them. Okay, so we have to keep going. Now the first one, there's a little, there is written in that fermata and the breath. That one I think should be smaller, and then the rest of it's kind of just gotta go. Okay, that was terrible, but the point is, it's got to go more like that. We can hear when the notes change. You don't also need to set them off. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. Any questions?
No.
Besides why I can't play that? It's hard. Okay, well, congratulations, Mandi. You sound really great, and more importantly, you respond so well to comments, and that's what every teacher loves. So thank you very much. Everybody give her a virtual round of applause. Great job, Mandi.
Thank you.
I think Erick is here now, so let's jump over to Erick.
Okay. Hi, Erick.
Hi.
Let me stop sharing my screen. And so tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're playing.
Okay, well, my name is Erick Morales. I am a sophomore at the University of North Texas, studying music education and clarinet performance. And I'm going to be playing the third movement from the Weber Clarinet Concerto No. 2.
Wonderful. Go right ahead. Let's hear it.
Is my sound okay? I know I didn't get to...
Yeah, it's good.
Wonderful. So exciting. Congratulations. Wow. That was super fast, and you can totally do it. And so that's really wonderful. I do think, so yeah, so great musical energy. You've got the technique to back it up. It was really exciting. Um, I think especially, so the last page um, is, that would be the max tempo that I think would work, regardless of if you can do it faster. Okay, because at some point it just sounds like a whole bunch of notes, and it's really impressive. It truly is. I cannot play it that fast straight up, but sometimes if we slow things down, they sound faster. We tell marine band conductors this a lot. Um, like if it's just kind of on the edge of our technique, because we're playing violin parts, right? If it's something that's not quite possible, we request humbly to the conductor, like, if you can just take it one click slower, sometimes that allows us to add more musical energy into it rather than just speed. So speed is exciting, but music and speed is more exciting. And if you slow it down just a little bit, I think you can add a lot more character to it, and it will still be stupid impressive. But it'll sound more energetic and really more exciting. So let's start from the beginning. This is the sort of cheater teacher way to do it. Let's just go back to the beginning and play it again, and I'll nitpick everything. But I do have some general comments about the beginning. Alla polacca, right? This is sort of a polonaise. This is a very it's like this sort of light dance that and we have right off the bat. Bum bum beam bum ba ba bum ba ba ba. I'm very much exaggerating, but that's kind of the style we're looking for. So can you play it a couple of clicks slower? And how we're going to make up for it excitement-wise is to add as much weight and then no weight as possible. So weight, bum 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 bum. Can you kind of imitate, like, exaggerate if you want to, but just smash as much character in here as possible now that you're going to have a little bit more time. I'll say about this short section that you played. So that's probably a little bit too much crushing of the 16th notes, but it does sound like it adds a little bit more direction. So I appreciate you actually exaggerating. So to me, that sounds more exciting than just playing it a little bit faster. I hear a lot of times throughout this piece where you know where the phrase is going, you see the accent there. So we have to do two things. If you want to smack like dee-da-da ba-bee-da, that's totally fine. But you can't dee-da-da ba-ba-da. You see what I'm saying? You have to build up to that by keeping the phrase alive. Otherwise, you have to moderate the accent a little bit, because if you don't, then it's a little bit shocking. So can you try that again? Measure 6, second phrase. Bum bum beep bum ba-da-dum ba-da-dum bum 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 beat-da-dum ba-bee. Like this is not to me, you have two choices. You can either keep the phrase alive and hit it as hard as you did, or you can try to play it a little bit more elegantly, which I personally think is appropriate given the title and this kind of style of music. So I think it adds more character if you play it a little bit more elegantly, a little lighter. So let's just hear a different version of this phrase with that in mind. Yeah, so that to me, does it feel boring to you?
No, it feels kind of like almost delicate in a way.
Yeah, and I think that's a more appropriate. I mean, we're never going to use the word correct, right? But I think that goes with the general character of
Yeah.
that's how this starts. It's not down, right? Not that that's how you played it, but I mean, this is light music. This is elegant music. So in general, we'll talk about the rest of the movement. We've got some time, but in general, I think, and just like I said, I'm not sure if you were here yet, but what I said to Mandi about there's multiple ways to play any phrase, but in general, you can drive through it and take the aggressive route, or you can kind of take the more passive route. Being in the Marine Band is really great because I have 23 colleagues that all play phrases differently. And we have to kind of decide how we're going to do things. And that's great. But I hear them play solos all the time. And it's always inspiring to hear someone you respect and you sit by all the time play a solo that you know, and they play a phrase like completely differently than you would have. And then it's not about questioning your self-worth, but it's about hearing a different perspective that's just as legitimate, and it always changes you. So I'd invite you to go through this piece and just how you change that last phrase. Think about other ways where you can take the passive route so that when you do take the more aggressive and you want to really punch us in the face, it's way more effective. So consider the way you're driving a phrase as a sort of dynamic level. If every phrase is forte, nothing is, right? Okay. Enough yapping. Let me see. Okay. So this next second page, now the dolce will make a little bit more sense if we started off light. I think at 47 you do this very large thing, this very expansive thing. I know that the orchestra's not playing there. It kind of so it be I think if you do it a little bit less, it'll make a little bit more sense. But don't try that. That's just for you to consider. That's not for you to play it how I would. Okay, let's try to make. Let's play this first phrase. I'm not worried about what I just talked about so much in terms of hearing you. Let's play this first phrase, and can you make it more dolce, more sweeping, and let's make sure we don't hit these accents where the phrase goes to, kind of like we did Great. That was so beautiful. Can you try to? I see that you're kind of forward a little bit. Maybe it's just the camera, but it seems like this is dolce. This is expansive. Can you just kind of like do with your body what you want to, the feeling that you want to impart on your audience? Everything we do as performers makes a difference to the audience. So it's like, have you ever played for a conductor that is like reaching too far over the stand, and everything is kind of in your face, and you're like,
Yeah.
we want to be drawing the audience in. We don't want to be pushing them. And I'm exaggerating. Okay, I'm speaking for the class on what we just saw, but it does make a difference in how I felt that phrase go, even though it was pretty much musically the same. Orally, it was pretty much the same. So that does make it so consider that in general when you're playing. Okay, let's try this section at C, and let's just take the edge off, so that the edge of the tempo off, so that we can hear this is very bouncy, and if you play it too fast, there's not time to bounce, right? So let's try it at our new tempo and see what happens. Okay, that's a little bit slow. You can go a little bit faster. You can still have fun. Right, can you bounce off of it? Can you go instead of da 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 da? That's kind of what maybe that's not how it feels, but that's kind of what I hear. They sound quite even. Okay, well, record yourself. This will be recorded, so you can check back. But they sound kind of the same, and I think it would instead of da da da. It's like every time we have a grace note, we always sort of lean into it, right? I can't hear that you're leaning into it because the rest of the notes are just as loud. And this is a super hard section to do that because it's da 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 ba. But I think that you're clearly talented enough to find a way to do that. So later in your practicing, do it slowly and exaggerate. So teachers always say, practice slow and build up. But you have to, while you're practicing slow, you must always keep doing the musical things that you're going to do when they're faster. So for you, I would say, go back and practice this slow with an exaggerated phrasing or with an exaggerated bounce. You don't need it for your fingers, but you need it for your air and for the oral cavity and for the feeling of how this goes. So I think you should try that, and I think you'll find that the whole goal is not the goal is to show, this is a show off thing, right? The goal is to show off, but make it sound easy, right? And if you can find a way to add this little bounciness, it'll just sound so tossed off, and it'll sound much more like, even more impressive. Okay, let's see. That repeats. All right, let's go to the third page. So with this section, we have this kind of expansion on the da 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 da, and then we go into a couple of different. We go to D minor. So, can I hear you now that we've taken the edge off the tempo? Can I hear you make a different character, and when it changes, like. Can you just be really schizophrenic's not the right word. Like with all the characters in this. It changes so fast. So just try. You don't have to do what I did, but something different every time something harmonically is surprising.
Wait, from there or from
there? Yeah, from the low E. Third line. Great. That was fabulous. That to me is now really impressive because you're not just playing fast. And clearly this was inside of you the whole time. So yeah, that to me now the con fuoco is con fuoco compared to what came before it, as opposed to all of it being con fuoco. So that's a really great difference for me. And I also appreciate that you didn't just copy what I did. So thank you for that. That's refreshing. Let's see. Grazioso at F. This is the lightest thing yet to me. Where da da dee da. These floating up sort of figures. Just make them sound as light as you possibly can. This is your chance to show that character. We've had bouncy and we've had con fuoco and we've had some dolce, but we haven't had like we haven't had the drunk alto. So let's hear this enough. That sounds dolce to me. Can you play grazioso, which implies much lighter than you played? And I'll not be vague. I'll say clip the slurs. Okay. Not da 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 da. That sounds heavy. That sounds dolce. Bottom, 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 bottom. Clipping the slurs, which is what I asked you to. Now also play the top note much softer. Can you try something like that? I think that's about the right. Can you do it more? It's close. I think the last thing that's missing is you're playing softly enough on the first note to where we can't float up the second note. Dum, ba, ba. Can you pulse a little bit? Yeah, and then next. Can I just go on this time? Okay, that was forward. That was because that's where the phrase at F starts on the downbeat. Bum, ba-dee, ba-da. And this one is not or sorry, it's not da-dee, da-da. To me, it's so you can't drive into that D, I think, for that musical reason. One more time. Yeah, Great, that was it. And you could have gone on, but that's fine. And then you're at ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Was really beautiful. Thank you for that. All right, let's hear the top of this fourth page. And again, same deal. We have some accents here. Da 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 da. Just play. Just make it light.
Page 10.
Yeah, page 10. Sorry, fourth page of my PDF. That sounded a lot better to me at this new tempo. So, for what it's worth, you play whatever tempo you want when you leave here, but I think that sounds great. Okay. So, when we're playing things like this, arpeggios, and there's there's a lot of pieces where we do this. We'll play a melody, and was this the D minor version of that previous melody that's going on here? Anyway, we have to consider always the harmonies, just like I said to Mandi when she was playing the. So we play ba da da dee da da dee da da da, and the message A, and then we go ba da 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 while the piano has that previous melody. So what I heard from you was you were kind of adhering or kind of bringing out the weird harmonies, but not as much as I think that you could. So when we have a harmony change, can you find a way to show that? So dee da 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 da, and then diminished, and then D minor, right? Okay, 5 minutes left. Thank you, Jessica. So we have like D minor, D minor, D minor, diminished, and then back to D minor, and then it repeats. And then these harmonies grow, and then we have chromatic scale, bum, ba-dum. The orchestra has that, right? So it's D minor for the first two beats of the bar up your chromatic scale, and then C sharp fully diminished 7, and then D minor, and then fully diminished 7. Okay, can you show us that you know that? Now you have time. Now you have time to do that. Now that we're not going. Okay, so try that. Right at G. Very nice. I think you could do more, but in general, I hear the idea. Okay, and for everybody, like music is all about harmony. Whether we're playing 1,000 notes a minute or the orchestra's playing the harmony and we're providing the melody, the harmony is what we respond to, and here the harmony is what you're creating. So we have to always. That's the most. It's more important than anything apart from rhythm and intonation, which we have to. So yeah. Speaking of which, we have a lot of interesting harmonies in this next melody. So now we have another dolce. So I want you to sing. This is not bouncy, but can you try to play this dolce in a more passive, like so? Instead of pressing the gas pedal, like I said to Mandi, can you show me can you coast as much as possible? Like just lean back as much as possible, sigh as much as possible during these couple of phrases. I have a couple of issues. No, I think there are a couple places where you can do that, lean a little bit more. So here's what I'm talking about. exaggerating, but that's what we can. That's the kind of mood we can create, which is different than anything that has come before. So can you try to? Do you see what I mean about like playing it passively? Can you don't have to imitate me, but can you find more places to do that? And when you do it more. Especially, I think I like the way I don't play it. I play this as two phrases. You play it more as one. That's totally fine. But you can't bum be da 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 da. You're going to that F. The phrase dum be da 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 da. It's like it's literally a 5-1. So I want to say that you can't, but it doesn't make musical sense in terms of tension in the harmony and release because we have 5-7-1. So we always have to come back. Can you try the second half of your phrase, the second phrase for me on the D? Make it simple for yourself. Just try once. Bum, be, da, da, da. Just do a decrescendo. Yeah, that's good. The last thing I'll say, so we have 1 more minute. I think you've made a huge amount of progress in terms of bringing out all these different characters. The last piece of the puzzle for you, and you'll have to record yourself probably to see if you're succeeding, is also changing the color of your sound. You have a great clarinet sound. There's not a thing wrong with it. I'm not going to argue. I've heard maybe more clarinet players than anyone because we have like 75 people for each audition, and I've hired like 12 people. So I've heard a lot of clarinet sounds. And as long as you're in like the ballpark of what people would consider a nice clarinet sound, I'm cool. So you're there. I'm not going to argue with you about your sound. However, it is on the direct side of sounds, okay? And that's really good to have sometimes. But in sections like this, sometimes it's okay. Don't tell any teachers listening, just shut your ears. But sometimes it's okay to lose a little bit of the core of your sound and be a little bit more transparent. Sometimes it's okay not to have everything exactly with your abdomen like locked up exactly and do everything exactly technically correct. If the music calls for it to be like you heard how I spoke it. I didn't go da 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 da. That changes not just the volume, but it changes how it comes across. So in the rest of your studying with this piece, try to think of this movement as like 27 different sections rather than like let's go. You know. So anyway, congratulations, Erick. It sounds really great. You've got limitless technique, and that's a pretty nice thing to have in your back pocket. So just keep working on those musical things and find the places where you can just come back. Okay.
Thank you for your
Great job. Okay. Now we have Peter.
Hello.
Oh, hi, Peter. Oh, sorry, everyone. I forgot to share my screen for that. But anyway. All right, Peter, can you introduce yourself to us, please?
Yeah, my name is Peter Hansen. This is my accompanist, Peggy Purdy. And I am currently going to be a junior at Boise State studying music performance. And I'll be playing Gaetano Donizetti's Clarinet Concertino.
Excellent job. Congratulations, both of you. That was a really wonderful performance. It's so nice to hear clarinet and piano again. So congratulations. I want to actually start with you in the second movement. If I can find it. Oh, let me share the score. This is such a cute little rondo. I didn't know this piece before, so I'm glad that you're playing it. So this would be page 6 here. So what I want to hear more from you, Peter, is a sort of a character. So you kind of have one character. To me, it sounds like you have one character in mind for most of this. And this movement, I know it's a rondo, but within the phrases, there's a lot of different things that I think we have the opportunity to do as the soloist. So first, I want to say the same thing that I said to Erick, and that is find every chance you can get to sit back, especially in music where we're trying to be dancey and light. It's very easy, especially when it's a little bit notey like this is. It's very easy to just want to try to push through the phrase and make sure that everybody hears everything. But I feel like if you can kind of think about this as it's like a big bouncy ball, like a what are those called? Like a Pilates ball. Those really, really big things. And imagine it bouncing sort of in slow motion. So it hits the ground, it digs in a little bit, and then it bounces up, and then it loses momentum, and then it comes back down, and it bounces, right? It's not like a bouncy ball that's like to our eyes, right? If it were, we're doing the same thing. So maybe that's dumb, but can you try to just try to do this as much as this is a technical musical thing. Try to do that as much as you can. Let's have just Peter for now. We'll talk about some ensemble things in a minute.
Okay.
Totally different to me. Maybe you're relaxed, but now I'm relaxed because it sounds that's how it goes. I think you can be a little bit more dramatic still. One of my favorite things to do is to demonstrate for students and really exaggerate with a total straight face. But this time I'll tell you that I'm exaggerating before I do. But I think this is a good skill for students to learn how to exaggerate the phrase. So this is sort of what I want to hear from you. I would never play it like that. That's ridiculous. It's certainly not Donizetti. But that's what's happening. It's just not that extreme. Okay? Can you play it like I did? Don't copy. I mean, you can copy if you want to. Can you play it that exaggerated? Like all of your musical ideas that you want the audience to feel, can you make it so obvious? Like you have the dumbest audience in the world and they can't hear anything, and any little musical thing you do is going to be completely lost on them. Right? Do it like you're demonstrating to a student. Let's hear it. Okay, so to me that wasn't exaggerated. That was nice. Okay, so this happens a lot of times. You tell a student to exaggerate, and they meet you halfway, and that's actually kind of the zone where we need to be, right? So that's great. How did it feel?
It did feel like I was exaggerating a bit much, but
okay, yeah. So the thing is, I remember this. I studied with Howard Klug in Indiana, and he would say, something like, "There's a crescendo there," and I'm thinking like, I did, because it felt like I did a crescendo. And he would say, no, more. And I'm like, okay. And then I finally I do what I think is a ridiculous crescendo. And he's like, exactly, that sounds great. And then I'd listen back to the recording and I'd be like, man, I wasn't crescendoing at all, even though it really felt like it. So first of all, teachers are always right. But really, we have to, we're characters. This is theater always, and so if we don't and think about it like the difference between a screen actor and an actor on a stage. Have you ever been to a play, like a local Shakespeare company or something? They're totally ridiculous with every enunciation, every word that they want to accentuate is done like that. Whereas in a movie, we would be like, wow, they are acting so hard. It's a totally different thing. You are not in a movie, you are on a stage with a live audience. So all of these things are very important. I'm sorry I'm talking so much. And we've only played the first phrase. Let's do it one more time, and I want you to exaggerate as much as you possibly can. Put your clown nose on, just be crazy.
Okay.
Take the edge off the accents, and that is really elegant. Okay, so I hear a huge difference now. I can feel what you want. Okay, so we'll not play that part again. Let's see, where is it? So measure 29, 30, 31, pick up to 32. Oh, by the way, whoever decided on where the cut was in this, I wholeheartedly approve. It was very nice. All right, dun da dee dum bum ba bee da. Let's hear the soloist only for now.
Okay.
That's good. That's good. So I love the character that you started out with. It's sort of like a hunting. Dum ba ba dum bum ba bee dum bum ba ba dum bum ba ba ba. But then we go to B major. Bum ba ba da 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 da, and well 5 of E minor, whatever. So we have this A7 in the piano. This B7. That's a different character than da 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 dum. Ba-da-da-da-da. Can I hear both of you play just those first 4 bars until that 33 through 4 through 5? Stop at bar 35.
Okay. You want to start right on 31?
Okay. Something is going to happen. Dun, da, dum, ba, 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 ba. Right? Is what the piano has. I want you both to ba, dum, bum, 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 bum. There's a little lift here before, because we need to anticipate this. Otherwise, it's just like, and then a B major chord and an E minor, and nothing matters. So can I have both of you dum ba ba dum bum ba ba bum ba bee da 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 dee da 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 da. This is a completely different character than the first 4 bars of this phrase. Okay? Can you make the biggest difference? It needs to be smarmy and swoopy and but also a different tone color from the clarinet. So we're gonna and you'll probably need to look at your pianist and kind of cue her bum ba ba dee da dee. And last thing I'll say to the pianist, I would like for you to try to drag him into be reluctant into beat 2 with your 16th notes. As if the odd tempo is on beat 2, not beat 1. So we're going to bum, ba, bee, da, da, dee, da, da, and then keep going. Something like that. Can we just try that?
Yeah.
From the same place. So 2 things happened there. I'll ask Peter. What happened in addition to the harmony change that alerted me to tell you that might work? First of all, did you like it?
Yes, I did.
Yes, of course. This is beautiful. But what is different other than the chord change?
The mood shift.
Well, the why, yes, well, that's what we feel, but do you know why we felt that? I don't mean to put you on the spot. I'm not trying to be mean. It's because that, can you hear, I'm sorry, I forgot your pianist's name.
Peggy.
Maggie?
Peggy.
Peggy. I'm like, okay. Oh, I remember now because that was the name of my first piano teacher. I should have made a note. Can I hear you play at 33? And so everyone who we have the benefit of looking to score, but Peter, I want you to listen to what happens in the piano other than the harmony change. Right now it's short. Okay, so we go bum chick 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 from da da dee da dee da doo dee doo 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 dee doo dee doo dee doo doo. That's a completely different thing. So these are the types of things. I'm sorry, I'm focusing on this one spot, but throughout this movement, those are the types of things that you as a soloist have to kind of try to find, like, where can I do something special? Where does the texture change? Where does the mood change? Where is an interesting chord? Because most of this movement is harmonically pretty boring in terms of like the chord choices that are made. But these exciting places where something unexpected happens, that means we have to highlight them all the more. Okay. So yeah, I think that's really nice now. Now, perhaps that was what you guys did a second ago was a bit exaggerated, because that's what I sang. But I think you can find a tasteful way to highlight that. Last thing I'll say about this, because it applies, I think, so much for you and your playing, Peter, is that it's just like I said to Erick. You need to find. We don't always have to have this huge amount of support and this exact core and the spinning the air. Can you try to sound as transparent as you can? You can just start right there at those pickups. Can you make it literally sound airy, like a raspy voice? Like, let go of the reed a little bit, because it sounds like you have such a good, your air support is too good here. I want it to be, the way we create transparency is to kind of let go of the support just a little bit. Wonderful. I think that's a huge difference. I wish I could be in the room there and hear it even more, but even on my crappy computer speakers, I can tell that that's not so direct. So for you, I think in this whole piece, you need to find the places where you can be less direct, because most of this rondo section is automatically kind of direct. Let me make sure I don't want to say anything more. Oh, let's go to the triplets if we can. Can you just play them the first like 8 bars for me, just to 66? Bum 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 bum.
Do you want accompaniment too? Or...
No, thanks. Sorry, just clarinet.
Okay.
Really nice, really nice. So I would say a little bit more. You are doing more shaping, I think, than you did the first time, which is great. That shows that you're learning from what we've been taught, what I've been yapping about for the past 20 minutes. But that sounds a lot more elegant now than it did before. Can you do more? And let's add the piano back so that you can have a little bit of harmonic inspiration.
Okay. Do you want to start right off with that?
Okay, very nice. Last thing, this is kind of hard to do online, but I would explore after the session, try to find a way to have the tongue not be so involved. Can you try to make it like, it sounds a little bit like da 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 instead of ba 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 ba. I mean, unfortunately, we can't make that syllable literally on the clarinet, because if we could, it'd be easy. It's always easier to sing something than to play it. But just on your own time, try to find a way to mimic, like, I think that it needs to sound bum 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 ba 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 ba. So try to find a way to recreate that on the clarinet. All right, for the last couple of minutes, let's go back to the beginning. So the theme for you has been, today has been coming out of the shell and trying to find the transparent places and the places where we can hold back. Let's just play, let's see, till bar 11, from the beginning to bar 11. And I want you to explore how much sound must I use, and how transparent can I make this feel. The piano has piano at the beginning. Okay, so let's just try to make this mysterious. That's amazing. That's amazing. It's music now, and it was not before. I cannot. That's one of the fastest, most amazing progressions I've heard in a class before, from that time to this time. I hope everybody else feels the same way. That was kind of shocking. Okay, we have to do that. You have to do that all the time. Fast notes, slow notes, whatever. That's really good. Okay. Yeah, you made sense of that terrible harmony change in measures 9 and 10. It worked, and it didn't before. Let's hear you play some more. That was so wonderful. I just had to say something. Wow. Let's do some hard stuff. Let's do more transparent stuff. Let's practice this. Let's go to 35, which is sort of the variation on this first theme. And as we add the decoration, try to keep it right where it was earlier. We don't need to, none of that. Just the same mood as before.
Okay.
Great. That was wonderful. And now your pianist is engaged. She's looking at you 4 times as much as she was before. She is every 3/16 notes are bum, beam, bum, bum. Like, she's playing better. Like, or it's just everything is working now. It sounds so. Not that you didn't play it well before. You know what I mean, though. Because you are showing her what you want to do, she's involved too, and now it's a collaboration, right? You've inspired her, and that's just wonderful to hear. So one last thing I'll say is Peggy, when you have those the forte bar 42, when you have those 3 pickups, can you be more? Don't start forte, but like go all the way into the downbeat. Because and Peter, this is your fault because you didn't give her a big. This is a diminished chord. cute. You were kind of like, and so she got scared, and so she played the downbeat a little softer. And it was very nice, but it's not quite what's written. So I think we can get a different effect here. Can we try that? Just Peggy, can you start at measure 42? And Peter, I want you to just take this big breath, wide shoulders, and come in on the E. This is a really weird place to have this.
Okay.
Very nice. Very nice. We don't need to do the little coda there. So, yeah, all you have to do is do that 100% of the time. It's easy. But really, like, I'm just shocked about how different. So shocked, unfortunately, that I know it's not me that did it. It was you that made the change. But yeah, it's just so beautiful now, and thank you for going out on a limb, and we all have to be a little bit vulnerable when we're playing because we're expressing something, and it's hard in this stiff situation of doing it in front of people, and also us nobody being in the same room. But I really appreciate for all three of you today how you've humored my comments, but more importantly, shared with all of us something special. So thank you for that. Congratulations to everybody. Wonderful job. It's a pleasure to be able to teach all three of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Patrick, and thank you, Eric, Peter, and Mandi for playing for this masterclass. If you joined us a little bit late and you missed any of it, I'm going to render and edit this and get it uploaded this evening, so you'll be able to enjoy watching that. And I encourage our musicians that performed today to go back and watch yourself and hear the changes in your playing. It was pretty remarkable. So great job. We have a couple more sessions this evening, so be sure to check those out. And once again, thank you, Patrick, and thank you, everybody. We'll see you again soon. Bye.